people, welcome back to my channel. If you're seeing a bit of shaking, it's my camera, it'll stop soon. But it is the 20th, it's April 20th. We are in Q2 of 2025. I'm starting a new series on my channel and it's called Culture and Conversations. As y'all know, I'm a Gambian-American babe just trying to make it in this thing we call life, navigating being first gen and all of the struggles and the hardships, the roller coasters, the hurdles that brings. I think one thing that has always kind of been a sore spot for me being first gen is being in the kitchen and cooking, and that feeling more like an obligation, a cultural pressure, because if you don't know how to cook, who's gonna marry you? What is your husband gonna eat? As if I'm literally raising a 2-year-old because my husband is my child, right? I grew up with a real aversion to being in the kitchen. It wasn't until I moved out and, was faced with bills and all of these expenses and I realized I'm not in the budget to eat out all the time. And this is why I think so many of us first gen African kids, especially women, we need to experience moving out and living independently, because the level of self-actualizing that you get to do when you live by yourself, you really grow as a person, let's just say that, when you're not being influenced by so many external factors like your culture and your parents, XYZ. So I want to start this new series called Culture and Conversations, where each episode I just kind of bring a topic for us to discuss that kind of intersects between my first gen identity, my Gambian heritage, and how I just navigate that. So for this episode, we are going to be doing a cooking video, and we are going to be making Domoda, or Mafé as known in Senegal. Domoda is one of my favorite dishes. It's a dish that reminds me of home. It's a comfort food for sure. I've always wanted to make it on my own. I've made it once with my mom, so I have some notes that I took that I'll be following. But I'm really excited to make it. I'm a little bit of a chef. 5 years ago, would I have called myself a chef? No, but I be in the kitchen. I be in the kitchen and I be making some things. And it's actually really enjoyable. We'll see how the dish turns out and we'll have a conversation. So here I am just cleaning my meat. For this domoda, I decided to use yapihad, which is lamb. And if y'all know lamb can be a bit fatty. So I was just cleaning it because I'm black. Please, I don't want to hear it, don't want to see it in the comments. And then just removing a bit of the fat from the meat. Honestly, my least favorite part of cooking, especially with different types of meats, is probably the cleaning process, and literally just off the strength of that would turn me into a vegan. But unfortunately, I love meat too much, so I struggle through it, I suffer through it. Here I am just prepping my onion and sweet potato. The recipe did not call for sweet potato, but I wanted to add something nutritious that would provide a bit more fiber to the dish, so here I am just peeling and prepping those things. So in addition to my mom's recipe, which I had in my notes, I was also following Dada's Food Crave Kitchen on YouTube. She is a Gambian YouTuber, and she likes to season cook her meat, where she'll basically just add the meat to the suged, which is the metal pot I'm using, some onions, basic seasonings such as salt and pepper, and then allow the meat itself to just kind of cook in that and steam before proceeding with the cooking. So that's what I'm doing here. So per my mom's recipe, you're supposed to blend 1 onion with pepper, or cani for my Gambians and Senegalese people. And that pepper could be Scotch bonnet, habanero, any really hot pepper. Unfortunately, I did not have any of that on hand, so I opted for just using cayenne pepper powder, but you can also use a chili powder. And this blended puree is going to go on top of the meat, which is currently seasoned cooking. I'm assuming this step also just enhances the flavors coming out of the meat and serves as a strong base for the domoda itself. I ended up having to add more water to the puree just to give it a more liquid consistency. As y'all can see, that look good, right? Just wanted to stop to provide a few reflections as we continue with the cooking. Like I said, I've already blended my onions and my cayenne pepper, but this is where I think I'm gonna veer off from my mom's process. Domoda Mafé, it's just peanut butter soup which is like a base of tomatoes, onions, and then peanut butter, obviously. So instead of using fresh tomatoes, because anybody got time for all of that, I'm so sorry. Dada over here, she done boiled some tomatoes. I don't have time. We're using diced tomatoes and some tomato paste. One thing about Domoda, I don't really love when the sauce is like chunky and I can like see the tomato and the onion, like I can pick it out, because that's what I used to do when I was younger. I would pick it out. And this is where I really appreciate how the Senegalese people do it, is because they really like blend everything together so that it's smooth, I think. Yeah, it's like really smooth. So I think I'm actually gonna add the diced tomatoes, because it's all going in banichin anyways. It's all going in one pot. I think I'm gonna add the diced tomatoes to my little onion puree sauce with the cayenne pepper. Again, just to facilitate a smoother sauce. I don't like tomatoes, I really don't. So like if this isn't well integrated into the sauce, it's gonna bother me. Quite a good food processor. Okay, there we go. So now we have our tomato onion sauce. I think this is also how you start the process for making banichin. So look at me learning. That's next. Whoa. The day I can make a good chip, it's over for everybody. It's over for everyone. Okay, so I think I'm done here. You can put this away.
Although you cannot always change your external, you can. It's hard to put into words the horrors that we witnessed every day during our time here.
Snack time is over. That was delicious though. I think my meat is cooking enough and water is starting to release, which is a good sign that I think we can cook. We can proceed with the cooking process. I've only ever made Domoda with chicken. Which chicken I feel like is just an easier protein to start with when you're like getting into cooking. But I think they're doing pretty well, so I think that's a good base. I don't know if I want to show you guys just because it's like just meat and water. It's not the sexiest thing, but we're gonna move on. Next on the list, now I'm gonna put in my little blended puree sauce thing. Right on here. Let's do a little mixy mix. Yeah, this is looking promising, guys. Seriously. Mixing this in. See, already smooth. And the onions I put in to like season cook the meat, those are starting to wither down, so I mean, I imagine there will still be a few chunks in the sauce, but as long as it's not chunks of tomato, I'm good. Honestly, because babes, no way. Okay, I'll show you guys. I think I'm gonna record on my other phone so I don't have to like take my thing down. There she is with the onion puree and diced tomato puree in my sugar, which is what this iron pot is called. Yummers. And then we're gonna do the tomato paste. So we're gonna use 1 full can of tomato paste. I'm glad we're using the whole thing because I hate opening up a thing of tomato paste and only using like half or a quarter. So yeah, we're gonna put all that in there. And this tomato paste is just gonna help give it that sauciness. In true African fashion, you gotta put some water from the sink in the can of tomato paste to rinse it out. Make sure you don't miss. Make sure you get every last little bit. Also adds a little bit more water to help the meat cook. Another thing you'll always hear when watching like a recipe video or asking somebody how to make domoda is that you don't need to put any oil. This is a completely oilless dish because one, the peanut butter has a lot of oil in it and fat, and then the meat. So the oil from the meat and the peanut butter during the cooking process, that will rise to the surface. So adding additional oil, you're just setting yourself up for high blood pressure and cholesterol, you know what I'm saying? And then I'll also probably add some jimbo, which I know is controversial, but y'all, jimbo is just so good. Like, it's just salt. It's sodium, it's all sodium. And like, I probably could have just added salt and achieved the same effect, but guys, no, jimbo doesn't have, like, I don't know. You're not gonna die anyways. At least the domoda my mom makes, there's never really vegetables in it, so just to add a little bit more nutritional value to this meal, because it is pretty high in fat and protein and carbs from the rice. I did some sweet potatoes. I feel like that could be interesting, you know, a little bit of fiber. So I'm gonna add that into. I hate when like potatoes are not fully cooked in these dishes. It really pisses me off. I'm gonna add that in and let that boil along with the meat. I might also add a little bit more water just because I want these sweet potatoes and the meat to be a bit more submerged. At this point, I'm really just kind of like vibing. But I think it's coming together quite nicely and I'm feeling very optimistic about this. This is the hard part though, when you add too much water, because then you have so much sauce, and I'm just like, my plan is to eat this throughout the week. I really don't want to have leftovers. But I suppose if I do, I can just freeze it. So now I'm gonna add the peanut butter, the tigadege, or the I think that's what they say in Senegal. How much is, I think my mom, when I made this with her, we used half of this pot. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the rest, I think, of this. Goodbye, peanut butter. Get some more. This is the magic, y'all. This is when it gets interesting. Oh. I watched another recipe video of somebody, a Senegalese woman, making domoda toguya isu. And what they do, because they use fresh, like, peanut butter, they will actually mix it in with the tomato and create like their own separate like peanut butter tomato puree. You see, when you got time and access to really fresh foods, you can do that. But us in the diaspora, time is money. All right, so this is like Domoda Express. I think that's what I'm gonna call this, Domoda Express. The Domoda I learned how to make is Domoda Express. Plus we're doing on time fee, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're always busy. People be working, the wives be working, the moms be working. Like, we don't have time to be going to do our nduga in the Mafé every day, coming home with fresh produce and, you know, our chip that we bought from the Jai cut down the street. We don't got time for all that, you know? Buy in bulk, we put it in our pantry, and we pull it out when it's time to cook. So that is everything. Again, I'm going to incorporate that in. It's already starting to smell familiar. Yes, sir. Peanut butter is mixed in to the sauce. I'm going to just taste. I'd probably add a little bit of jimbo just to start. Oh, it's already, okay. Well, whatever. I keep a little bit in my mini gunna here. Start with that. Doesn't really need much salt because I'm gonna go in with lemon juice in a bit. Okay. Now, I'm gonna just let everything incorporate, boil, and I'm gonna check on it like every 20 minutes. So yeah, I'm gonna cover this, set a little timer, and go chill. Okay guys, 20 minutes have passed. Is the dough now ready? No. It's still boiling, but we're getting closer. I can still see the like puree. It hasn't really been cooked through. So we're gonna let it sit for another 20 minutes. and revisit. Hi guys. Oh my god. Admittedly, I took a bit of a nap. I woke up really early today. But I think the Domoda is about ready. See how all the oils kind of come to the top? It's from the meat and the peanut butter. Like there. You know. I think I'm gonna turn it off. Frankly, I need another nap. But I think I'm gonna turn it off and let it sit, and then I'll eat in a little bit. Hi guys. So it's actually 2 days later, and I'm in the lunchroom at my job, eating my Domoda. And y'all, I ate like Domoda is not complicated at all. This was such a good like confidence boost, and now I feel like I can make anything. Like Chibujin Spokanja, I'm coming for you guys. Like at first I thought I didn't leave it, you know, to like really boil for long enough, but after it's settled and stuff, like this looks just like my mom's Domoda. So I'm a little pressed. Next time, if I do choose to add sweet potatoes, I need to take them out like mid-boil, because most of the sweet potatoes ended up like cooking so much that they disintegrated. I just have like mashed sweet potato in my Domoda. And that's a good lesson, because I've seen my mom do that too. Like when she's boiling, when she's cooking other meals that have vegetables in it, she'll cook those like, she'll kind of like treat the sauce as like water, boiled water. And once like that stuff is cooked, she'll take them out and like put them aside. And she does that with some of the meats too. So I will definitely do that next time. But I'm pleased. Like the meat is ñor, like so tender. Well, 2 things that the recipe called for that I was not able to add because I don't have that stuff, which is netetu, which is locust beans, and yit, which is snail. Honestly, I'm not even pressed for the yit because I don't like yit. I have not liked yit for a very, very long time. But I will say, although I don't love netetu and yit, they do bring a distinct taste, flavor profile to Domoda. I think I definitely noticed a difference when the yit and the netetu aren't present. But I did that. Multifaceted girl. But you know, to any of my diaspora kids out there, especially the women who were rebellious babes like me and did not enjoy being in the kitchen when they were younger, did not even want to be near the kitchen, literally would just eat the food that mama made, I devote this one to y'all. Like this, I'm dedicating this video to you guys because I get it. I was one of those people. It's just, like I said, it's really frustrating when cooking and nourishing yourself is so tied and associated to being a wife and a homemaker and essentially like a caregiver for your husband, because that's the way. Yeah, I'm trying to reclaim that. I'm doing it for me. I'm doing this so that I can pass on these dishes to my future kids so that they can grow up eating meals from home and come to develop their own favorites, whether that be something completely different than what I grew up liking. Like, I'm doing it for them, and I'm doing it most importantly for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know, have you ever tried to make a dish from back home? What comes up for you when you think about cooking and like cooking meals from home, and how that makes you more of a woman or a more viable option for a wife? Let me know if anybody else, you know, kind of has those like complexes and is working through like that shame and guilt, because it's real, and you know, it's real. Anyways, bye guys.